Hanatazaki ya hakala ya kabala. Anya abamar, anya abamar. You almighty Allahayim. I say, nah, stand still. Hanatazaki ya hakala ya kabala. Anya abamar, anya abamar. You almighty Allahayim. I say, nah, stand still. Hanatazaki ya hakala ya kabala. Anya abamar, anya abamar. You almighty Allahayim.
I got some things in my chest, I don't know how to express. While I'm walking down the cold road to pass every test. Now look, I can't eat, I can't sleep. Y'all save me from the water, cause I'm going in deep black. People keep talking, always deceiving. Try to break it down, but you gotta keep believing. Whoop down the Bible and let it say to Peter Pan. Praying for the people, cause we all gotta stand. Wonder was a lollipop to the grandma and the uncle guy. It's a cold world, trying to break the truth out. People get paid to check, peel, sell out. Lying on the word, but it ain't no other way out. To my work, gotta never give up. People across the world, everywhere, keep eyes up, eyes front, look. Press to the mark, yeah, man, and high collar. Go, come and see a man that'll love it when you're falling. Forget him back. Bomb the enemy, I'ma run to the way and the truth and the light. I spot, bomb cracks, I'ma say it every day and night, man. I promise I'll fight. Light 'em up, I don't need no match. I'll have you buy all by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' beat, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself. I don't need no match. I'll have you buy all by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' beat, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself. I will not be ignored. I've been quiet too long. Struggle ain't easy. That's why I'm always on my own. Been weeping all night, but joy come in the morning time. So down on my knee, I get it, yeah, no praying for a sign. Remember Tulsa Massacre, that ain't been long ago. Although we ask for reparations, bro, we get that when we go. It's hard to believe the sight, even though it was real. And I pray we all call on y'all, cause in hell it ain't no milk and cooking. Every check bounce, if it can't avoid it, or you but never got paid, every turn of y'all willing to say we sin. Could be sick about the spoilers and we call it to the Father. With a hurt for 12, bro, in the sun. Why boom one another with a one-track mind? As if everything we see is even wider nation from the north. Break the land and come out the with the agents of our own flesh, spraying one another with a murderous brutality. Ask about the lost sea, hear the sheep scatter like oppression is a cocaine. Every day in the battle, building muscle, Get a crowd of people in the trouble. It ain't my strength. Bomb the enemy, I'ma run to the way and the truth and the light. I spot, bomb cracks, I'ma say it every day and night, man. I promise I fight. Light 'em up, I don't need no match. I'll have you buy all by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' beat, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself. I don't need no match. I'll have you buy all by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' beat, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself.
Hanatazaki ya hakala ya kabala. Anya abamar, anya abamar. You almighty Allahayim. I say, nah, stand still. Hanatazaki ya hakala ya kabala. Anya abamar, anya abamar. You almighty Allahayim. I say, nah, stand still. Hanatazaki ya hakala ya kabala. Anya abamar, anya abamar. You almighty Allahayim.
I got some things in my chest, I don't know how to express. While I'm walking down the cold road to pass every test. Now look, I can't eat, I can't sleep. Y'all save me from the water, cause I'm going in deep black. People keep talking, always deceiving. Try to break it down, but you gotta keep believing. Whoop down the Bible and let it say to Peter Pan. Praying for the people, cause we all gotta stand. Wonder was a lollipop to the grandma and the uncle guy. It's a cold world, trying to break the truth out. People get paid to check, peel, sell out. Lying on the word, but it ain't no other way out. To my work, gotta never give up. People across the world, everywhere, keep eyes up, eyes front, look. Press to the mark, yeah, man, and high collar. Go, come and see a man that'll love it when you're falling. Forget him back. Bomb the enemy, I'ma run to the way and the truth and the light. I spot, bomb cracks, I'ma say it every day and night, man. I promise I'll fight. Light 'em up, I don't need no match. I'll have you buy all by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' beat, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself. I don't need no match. I'll have you buy all by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' beat, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself. I will not be ignored. I've been quiet too long. on. Struggle ain't easy, that's why I'm always on my own. Been weeping all night, but joy come in the morning time. So down on my knee, I get it, yeah, no praying for a sign. Remember Tulsa Massacre, that ain't been long ago. Although we ask for reparations, bro, we get that when we go. It's hard to believe the sight, even though it was real. And I pray we all call on y'all, cause in hell it ain't no milk and cooking. Every check bounce, if it can't afford it, or you but never got paid, every turn of y'all willing to say we sin. Could be sick about the spoilers, and we call it to the Father. Would it hurt for 12, bro, in the hood? Why boom one another with a one-track mind? As if everything we see is even while the nation from the north, break the land, and come out there with the agents of our own flesh, spraying one another with a murderous brutality. Ask about the lost sea, hear the sheep scatter like oppression is a cocaine. Every day in the battle, building muscle, Get a crowd of people in the trouble. It ain't my strength. Bomb the enemy, I'ma run to the way in the truth and the light. I spot. Bomb practice, I'ma say it every day and night, man. I promise I fight. Let them up, I don't need no match. I'll have you fire all by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' be, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself. I don't need no match. I'll by yourself. Let me get my breath. I guess this with the hook gon' be, man. So drop that, man. I repeat myself.
Aman. All right. Might as well go ahead and get on into the Bible. All right. Go ahead and leave this here for you, family. So when you come and when you see it, you could go ahead and start listening to the word. All right. So I'm going from Proverbs chapter 11. Proverbs chapter 11. And I'm going to let it read to you. Hold on.
Proverbs 11. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them. The transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. When a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of unjust men perisheth. The righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked cometh in his stead. An hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. By the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hateth suretyship is sure. A gracious woman retaineth honour, and strong men retain riches. The merciful man doeth good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh. The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. As righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death. They that are of a froward heart are abomination to the Lord, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman, which is without discretion. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. He that diligently seeketh good procureth favour, but he that seeketh mischief, it shall come unto him. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more the wicked and the sinner.
Amen. Okay. So I wanted to point out some scriptures to you, family. And I got the history that I forgot to bring out yesterday. All right, so I'm gonna start in verse 24. And this is gonna cover a lot of stuff what people have an issue with today. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. So it's not a sin for you to sell food and sell materials. It's not a sin for you to do commerce. All right? He that delighteth, he that diligently seeketh good, procureth favor. He that diligently, continuously seeketh good, procureth favor. But he that seeketh mischief, it shall come unto him. He that trusteth his riches shall fall. So you can't trust in your silver and gold. You can't trust in your money. Shalom, Elder Berean Scholar. I was trying to send you an invite, but I couldn't remember how to write your name down. But it's good to see you today, Elder. And I'm gonna drop the link, and you could come up if you want to. Once I get this established. But the righteous shall flourish as a branch. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. I have a precept. And the fool shall be a servant to the wise of heart, shall be a slave to the wise of heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, but he that wins souls is wise. Behold the righteous. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more the wicked and the sinner. All right, so go ahead and turn it to Ecclesiasticus 3:16. If you got your apocryphal. If you don't, I left this right here down in the under the video. If you don't, I left it under the video. All you have to do is where it say under Spanish scholarly, click on where it says more, and then you'll be able to go over and grab this here online source of the original King James Version, and it's going to be written in Old English. But if you don't understand what it say, you can click on the verse, and then it'll put it in regular English for you. Ecclesiasticus 3:16. He that forsaketh his father is a blasphemer. He that forsaketh his father is a blasphemer. And so, forsaking your father, if you do that, you're a blasphemer. What do this mean? And he that angereth his mother is cursed of Allahayim. King James Version, 1611, King James Version, Bible. All right. Now let's go on down and let's read the full chapter. So remember, it's verse 16. All right? Matter of fact, let's start in verse 1. Hear me, your father, O children, and do therefore that ye may be safe. For Yahweh have given the father honor over the children. For Yahweh have given the father honor over the children, and have confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. So your father have honor over you, and your mother have glory over you as a son. Because the glory of the woman, of the Asha, the hair of her head, is the glory of her husband, and the glory of the Ayash, the male, is the father. Whoso honoreth his father maketh an atonement for his sins. So if you honor your father, you make an atonement for your sin. So if you don't honor your father, you do not make an atonement for your sin. You cannot be a disobedient and dishonorable child and make an atonement for your sin. I got a point in all this when I'm reading. He that honoreth his mother is as one that layeth up treasure. Remember what Mashiach said, the treasure of heaven? So if you honor your mama, Ama, that's how you lay up treasure in the kingdom. Whoso honoreth his father shall have joy of his own children. Whoso honor his father shall have joy of his own children, of his offspring. Who you are the offspring of your father. And when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard. So if you don't honor your father and your mother, you will not have joy of your children, nor will Yahweh hear your prayer. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life. Remember what grandma and them say? A man life is 80, I think she's saying 10. And if a man don't honor his mama, he won't live. His mama and his daddy and mama, he won't live half his days. So grandma say she take out that switch or a bowl or whatever she can get back then and tear us up. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life. So when mama whoop you, when you're disrespecting your father, when she lay out the meal for your father and you want the big piece of chicken, but mama say, I'm giving it to your daddy. Your daddy went to work, baby. He got to sit at the table. He's sitting at the master seat at the table, at the head seat of the table. Honor your father, listen to your mother, and respect your mama. And he that is obedient unto Yahweh shall be a comfort to his mother. So this is how you are not this is how you don't make your mama angry. When you obey Yahweh, you will be a comfort to your mama, to Amma. He that honoreth his daddy, when you honor your father, your Abba. Some say Ab. When you honor your Abba, your daddy, the seed that you came from, the bloodline that you came from, come from your father. And the egg that you came out of was your Amma. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life. And that's why a lot of people's life getting cut short. Because they don't honor their fathers in this generation, nor in past generation. Shalom, Professor Lovely Lady. How you doing today, sister? Oh, and thank you again, sister, for the blessing that you had sent. That was a blessing to me and my wife. Thank you, sister. He that honoreth his father shall have a long life. And he that is obedient unto Yahweh shall be a comfort unto his Amma. He that feareth Yahweh will honor his father. So the one that worship, remember what it say? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And then when you look in the scripture, he said, you shall fear Yahweh, and him only shall you shall worship Yahweh, and him only shall you serve. Yahweh Shai told you the translation of that word. It is the fear means the worship, means the lifestyle. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandment. Watch this. He that feareth Yahweh will honor his father. He that feareth Yahweh will honor his father. So if you fear Yahweh, if you worship Yahweh, the lifestyle, worship is a lifestyle. He that feareth Yahweh will honor his father. He that feareth Yahweh will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. So if your mama and daddy need you, and you done and they done led you in the right path, and back then we had inheritance that Aisha and them done stole. But if you leave your children inheritance and they do well with the inheritance, or your children get up and they work hard as they can out there in the vineyard, out here on the slave plantations. And when your mama and daddy get sick, you try to look after them. And if you ain't got it, the least thing you could do is pick up the phone and see how mama and daddy doing. And I believe I need to do better with this myself. I need to call my mama and my daddy more than I call them. But this is the commandment of Yahweh. Whether if the preacher do it, or whether if he don't do it. Whether if the pastor do it, or whether if he don't do it. Whether if the missionary do it, or whether if they don't do it. Whether if the bishop do it, or whether if they don't do it. Whether if your brother do it, or whether if your sister do it, or whether if they don't do it. This is still the commandment of Yahweh. Our disobedience to Yahweh does not make him invalid and in void. He that feareth Yahweh will honor his father, and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. So the same way you go out there, we go out there and we honor our bosses on the job. The same way we would go out there and honor the people that got the rule over us. When the police say put your hands up and you put it up, the same way you honor your masters, the slave master, the same way you honor your masters, it's the same way you're supposed to honor your mother and your father. And when it come down to this law, if the police tell you to dishonor your mama, you still honor your mama. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and unto Yahweh that which is Yahweh's. Honor your father and your mother both. Honor Abba wa Amma, both in word and deed. Both in word and deed. With your mouth and with your works, that a blessing may come upon you from them. I know in westernized worlds, we feel like we could just dump our mama and daddy off at the nursing home, and if granddaddy passed, you supposed to forget all about granddaddy and everything he suffered and everything he taught you and told you to pass down to your children. Westernized theology say that's the past, that the past is grass. Just go and spoil your bloodline, spoil your seed, and splap it everywhere to the four corners of the earth. I know that's what they promoting in the commercials and everything, but when you honor your father, and also when you obey the commandment of Yahweh, that's how you honor your father and how you have long life on the earth. When you keep the commandments, it's how you get honor from your mama. That's how you make your mama not angry, an angry mother. For the blessing of a father established the house of his children, and our father Yahweh gave us all a blessing. For the blessing of a father established the house of his children. The nations did not establish us as a people. So when people reject who they are in a bloodline, they're dishonoring the word of Yahweh, and they have no respect to their father, nor the blessing that he gave upon you. He named you, praise Yahweh. He named Banya Yamayan, Banya Yamayan. He named the tribe of Ashar, Ashar. He did not name them African. Your fathers named one of the tribes of Yahabadah, their name is Akan, and that's in Africa. They did not name them Berber. They did not name them barbarians. Aman. So we got to honor our father and our mama, that our days may be long upon the land which Yahweh has given unto us, that we don't inherit because of our wickedness. How can we inherit it? Aman. Let me read what the elder say, Sister Naomi, and I'm going to get right back to you, all right? The elder say, Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon, look at it, that's a blessing. Make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you his shalom. Numbers 6 and 24 and 26. The blessing that Masha, or one of the scribes, had written down, that Yahweh had commanded them to write down, was a blessing of your father. That's a blessing of Yahweh, like the elder had pointed out. We got to honor our father and our mama. We got a mama named Sarah. Even though she sleep, her reverence to her husband still speak from her tomb. Honor your father and your mama. Professor Lovely Lady, Sister Naomi said, Shalom, sister. You got to honor your father and your mama. So when people keep saying that who you is ain't important because all of us is the same, no. The Father said in the scripture that he divided us. Even after Masha, before he left, his blessing as a shepherd over Yasharal, when he was getting ready to pass the baton to the brother Yahawashai. And in that verse, it called him Habashai because it means he's salvation. Or the salvation. The salvation. Habashai means the salvation. Yahabashai mean he salvation. He Yahweh salvation. And just because you know what it mean in English don't mean we finna colonize it and say, oh, his name is he salvation now. No, his name is Yahabashai. We know what it means, so we can say it now. And say it with boldness and with authority, Mashpaka. Honor your father and mother. If your mama name, my daddy name is Calvin. My daddy name is Calvin Lee Kennedy, and my mama name was Elisa Darlene Kennedy. But now she's remarried, and her name is Elisa Darlene Best. All right? So I honor my father. If somebody asks me what my daddy's name is, I'm not going to be ashamed of what my daddy's name is and say, oh, oh, it don't matter. It just don't matter. It just don't matter. Honoring your father and your mama is not done away with. Honoring your father is not done away with. If you honor your father, then you will try to keep his bloodline clean. Keep his bloodline where it could go through. And when it say clean, it does not mean that somebody else is filthy. What it's saying is that when you keep the commandment, you are clean because you obey Yah. He is the one that established you. When you unclean is when you ain't obeying Yah. And if I go and spoil my seed, or if a sister go and let a man impregnate her with his seed that is not of her people, and then how can we know who our people is? Some people say, well, I don't know who my people is, so it don't matter who we sleep with now, because we over here now, and all we know now is that we as Negroes, or we as blacks, or we as Americans, or we as African Americans, and want to disassociate themselves from who their father and their mother is for a religion. I got the call, family. Hold on. I'm back now. Excuse me. For the glory of a man. Listen, if you don't honor your husband, even with your husband, if your husband, I don't know what your husband name is, sister, brothers and sisters, your husband and wives, but if y'all got if you got a husband, if you got a wife, just put their first name down in the chat, and we gonna do something with this today, family. So Elder Berean, if you got a wife, put your wife first name down in the chat. Sister Naomi, if you got a husband or a fiance or your daddy, y'all daddies or y'all husband or y'all wife, put their first name down in the chat, and we gonna do something with this after I come from over here. Sean. All right, that's your daddy name, Sean, Elder Sean. All right, my son. I'm gonna read this and I'm finna get down to the chat. But family, let me see if I can write it in a poll as well. When I get done with this, I'm gonna write it in the poll, and I'm gonna have y'all to vote on this. Okay, if you don't have a husband, sister, just write down the first name of your father and your mother. Oh, my wife's name is Sean. Okay. Sisters and brothers, if y'all don't have a husband or a wife, just write down y'all daddy and y'all mama name, first name. You don't have to write the last name. And if you have a wife or a husband, write that name down. And we're gonna do something with that when we get out of this verse right here. Okay. For the glory of a man is the honor of his father. Glory not in the dishonor of your father. For your father's dishonor is no glory unto you. This is why they moved this out the Bible. Mashpaka, do you know they gave us the Negro slave Bible? They gave, if you don't want to put the name of your father and mother because of work-related issues, just put the first initial, and then you could put the first initial of your mama's name. All right? Honor your father and mother, both in word and in deed. So you can't just say, you can't be ashamed to say what your father's name is. What did the scripture say? He that denieth me before the world, I will also deny him before my Father in the Malachiyam. Look at this. For the glory of an Ayash, the glory of a man is from the honor of his father. And a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children. So if the father is not honored, then your grandma ain't got no honor. My son, help your father in his age, when he get old, elderly, and grieve him not as long as he live. When your dad is alive, he could be grieved by how you act. But when he die, he don't know nothing what's going on this earth. But let's keep on reading. And if his understanding fail, have patience with him. So if your daddy mind start going, my granddaddy, his mind started going. His name was Granddaddy Willie Ivory. And despise him not when you are in your full strength, when you young and vibrant. Don't despise your parent. For the revealing, for the reliving of your father shall not be forgotten. Look at this. For the reviling of your father, shall not be forgotten. And instead of sins, it shall be added to build, and instead of sins, it shall be added to build you up. In the day of your affliction that we are in, it shall be remembered. Your sins also shall melt away as the ice in the fair warm weather. He that forsaketh his father is a blasphemer, and he that angereth his mama is accursed of Yahweh. The Apostle Paul said this is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and your mother, your days shall be long upon the land which Yahweh hath given unto you. So the Apostle Paul, even the Apostle Paul said that if you honor your father and your mama, that Yahweh bless you in the land that he gave unto you. So the Apostle Paul didn't say when he received Messiah that he didn't supposed to have no home country no more. He still said that he from Banya Yamayan. He still said that if you honor your father and your mother, you will live in the land which Yahweh have promised unto you, and he want to gather you. So for people to say that it don't matter no more, we in America, we in Jamaica, we in Spain, we in Portugal, we in Europe, we down somewhere in Africa, we somewhere island out there, we in Mexico, we in Australia. So that don't apply to us. You're sadly mistaken. The greater you are, the more humble yourself, the more you should humble yourself. So a lot of us think we get into these positions. Our daddy may be somebody that used to be like my granddaddy on my daddy's side, used to pick oranges and go and cut watermelon, and people that's rich put it inside of their plate and eat it. Yeah. My granddaddy was a melon cutter, and it ain't easy to cut melons and throw them melons on the truck and take my daddy out there, and my daddy would go out there and help him load the truck. And they would be out there in the cold while rich folks sitting in the heater, eating the oranges and drinking the orange juice, freshly squeezed in Florida. The greater you, but just because your daddy was a fruit picker, or or he was a farmer, or your grandmama was a house slave, what they call a maid servant, a maid or a servant, don't mean that you got to dishonor your mama. My great grandmother on my mama's side, she used to wash clothes for people. They had a old wash pot that they would put the clothes in with this little scraping thing. I don't know what grandma and them call it. You can look on the Ray Charles movie and you will see it. That wash pot that his mama was using. My grandmama had the same kind of wash pot, and she would wash the people clothes in the neighborhood. She was the washing house lady, and my grandma was the store, and my grandma used to sew up clothes. But people that grow up and think that they big now because they're a lawyer, humble yourself. The more you get, The more honor you get from the world, you got to humble yourself with your mama. The more you think that because I'm American, I'm better than than the fathers. No, you're not better than your fathers that was out there herding sheep. A washbowl. Thank you, Elder. Washbowl. You're not greater than your fathers in when they was in Masrim herding sheep. Now the rich folk, they might not honor that in Masrim, but just because Robert Bond and them, Robert Bond and them was out there herding sheep, don't mean that they offspring is better than them, because now in these days they got on some westernized clothes, a nice looking westernized suit on with the top hat to match. Don't mean that they better than their father Lawai, because his job was take care of children inside of the temple, at the wall, at the gate. My son, go on with your business in meekness, so shall you be beloved of him that is approved. The greater you are, the more humble yourself, and you shall find favor. Now, what's wrong with this? Why did they take it out the Bible, Marsh? Because they didn't want you to learn how to honor your father. They didn't want you to learn that by dishonoring who you are as a person is blasphemy. That's a sin, ain't it? Ain't blasphemy a sin? Ain't it? If it say sin is transgression of the law, right? So they teach you the law is done away with. But you see, many are in high place and renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. You know who got the word? A sister was talking, brother or sister was talking about this yesterday. I said, oh boy, that's powerful. Yeah, the shepherds, Ama Lavada was talking about this yesterday on her video. I believe that I saw the video yesterday, but the mother had to have this revelation before she went on the video. But yesterday I watched Mother Lavada. She say, you know who got the word? It was the shepherds. One of the, in that day, that was an abomination for the Hamitic people back then. So it wasn't popular, you know. It wasn't a popular job. It's just like people in these days they want to leave what a Gullah people at, which means kinfolk in Hebrew. They want to leave what a Gullah people at and go up there in the city and be big timers, you know. Want to be big timers and sit out there, want to run out there to get inside the Boule clique. But now, honor is where you left. Honor is in the village. Oh yeah, honor is back home. But what is commanded you, think thereon with reverence, with respect. For it is not needful for you to see with your eyes the things that are in secret. Look at this. But what is commanded you, think thereupon with respect. For it is not needful for you. It is not necessary for you to see the thing, to see with your eyes, to see with your judgment, the things your eyes make judgment, the things that are in secret. Be not curious in unnecessary matters. For more things are showed unto you than men understand. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. Without eyes to judge, you shall want light. You shall want understanding. Profess not the knowledge, therefore, that thou hast not. So don't act like you know better than your mama and your daddy did. Just because you over here in westernized and being westernized, just because we over here in these lands and now you say, come on, estas, instead of saying, shalom. Just because you over there scattered in China and you say ni hao and you don't say shalom no more, don't mean and now you got on some of they clothes that they call good in their culture. Don't mean that you any better or no more than your mama and your daddy. Honor your father and your mother. Honor who they was. Honor who they was, because then doing that, you're going to honor and respect yourself. An obstinate heart shall be laden with sorrows, and the wicked man shall heap sin upon them, upon sin. In the punishment of the proud, there is no remedy. It ain't nothing you can do to help nobody that's full of pride, that think they better than who their mama and their father is and who their genealogy is. It is you if you think that you better than that make up your nation. If you think you better than the origins of you as a person, because somebody else done beat the devil at you. And I told you they're saying that being who you is reverse racist. That honoring the legacy of your father's name. There is no remedy, for the plant of wickedness have taken root in him. Now, what's going to happen if people keep thinking that it's okay to never remember who you is and just be all out there, just throw your seeds everywhere, just throw your leg here and throw one over there? It don't matter who it is, that everybody can just come into your palace. Understand me? Everybody can just go and throw seeds here, throw seed there. It don't matter about nothing no more. We have received the law of lawlessness, so now let us go and wash our hand of the truth. What in reality we doing is washing our hand with poop and calling it water, or washing our leg, somebody peeing on your leg and saying it's raining. The heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man. Ear means understanding, so we should listen to get an understanding. A man that speak before a matter is before a thing is finished spoken, before it's concealed, is a foolish person, because their understanding is not understanding. Water will quench a flaming fire. Water will quench a flaming fire. And alms make an atonement for sins. And he that requiteth good turns is mindful of that which he come hereafter. And when he faileth, he shall find a stay. Now, I'm finna come inside of the comment section. Shalom, sister. And I brought it back to where the Apostle Shawwal talked about these Israelites scattered in Rome. Shalom, Sister Malaka. All right. And Sister Malaka put put all our names up there so all of us can get our honor and respect. All right. Now let me go and let me see what y'all put. Thank you, sister. Okay. Elder say his wife's name is Sean. And he said his father's name is Eugene. Sister Naomi said his daddy's name is John Lee. All right. I got an uncle named John. We used to call him Randy. Elder Berean said his mama name is Carrie. Sister Lovely Lady say my daddy initial is L and my mom initial is A. Mom. But my father passed. I'm so sorry, sister. Now, let me ask you a question. With your father and your mama, is it lawful for you, for somebody to come up to you and say, whenever you say my daddy name is, I say my daddy name is Calvin. My wife name is Valentina, right? Is it lawful for you? I want you to think about your daddy, your mama, your wife, your husband. Think about this. If somebody come up to me and say your wife name is not Valentina, that is being reverse racist. That's being reverse human. That's being reverse Adam. And if my mom, if we don't have to reverence our mother and our father's names in remembrance, or the name of our people in remembrance, why do we have to always get up and salute and say, God, what they say, God bless America? If names of stuff is not important, then why do they say God bless America? Why do they say they church is named the Apostolic Church of Christians of Spain? Why do they got inside their church the church the church of runaway slaves, or whatever name they can come up with? And this church is on every street in the hood, and they all got names on there. The pastor got a name, everybody know. So when you go inside the church, all of who you is supposed to be wiped away, right? Everything about you supposed to be white. There is no more male, no more female. Now it ain't no males no more. It ain't no more females no more. There is no more Yahweh, and there's no more Hellenistic person on the earth no more. Everybody is just Adam. Forget about the promises that y'all made to the people that will be scattered to the four corners of the earth. Because Christianity has been what Elder Regis say, a hell of a drug. Elder Regis says, some of y'all act like y'all on crack. He said, am I adept both to the Greeks? Now let me ask you a question. Do the nations, if you is adept to the Greek, do you owe them reparations? Do you owe the Greeks reparation? Or do the Greeks owe you reparation? So when he say, I am adept both to the Greeks, and the Greeks came down there and colonized his people, why would he lie? Because the Bible say, thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. Thou shalt not lie. Why would the apostle Paul lie and say that the Israelites owe the Greeks reparations? Because that's what debt is. When you owe somebody a debt, you as they slave, right? But did not the scripture say that it is against the commandment of Yah in Leviticus for us to be owned as slaves by the other nations? And the only reason why we are owned as slaves by the other nations, the prophet Masha showed up what I read to y'all yesterday, the Psalm of Moshe, how he said that we are Yahweh slaves, but he sold us to the nations because of our wickedness in denying him as Messiah. So we don't owe them. Our debt is to Yahweh, right? I am adept both to the Greeks. Why? And the barbarian. Look at this word right here. Barbarian. This word Berber right here. There's a tribe that was taken in Africa from slavery from Rome that was called the Berber, the Hellenistic, both to the wise and the unwise, both to the understanding and the ones that don't understand. So the ones that understand what the words say and the ones that don't have no understanding. To the barbarian, to the Berber, both to the wise and to the unwise. So as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the Basara unto you. That means the good news to you that are at Rome. Wait a minute. Did not we read yesterday that Spain, that the place that they call Spain, where Spanish people come from, is Rome? If you don't know this, when I get done with this video, please go back to the other video I did from yesterday, and you will see. You will see it. Now, when I told y'all about the Berber, look at here. For I am not ashamed of the Basara of Hamashiach, for it is the power of Allahayim, the good news of Mashiach, for it is the power of Allahayim unto Habashai, unto the salvation, unto the restoration, the help, the salvation, to everyone that believe. Believe in what? How can you believe in Yah without the prophets? How can you believe in this Messiah without the prophets? It was Messiah that was spoken of by the prophets. To the Yahwadah first, and also to the Hellenic. What do this mean when they say Hellenic? Helen. For therein is the righteousness of Allahayim revealed. From faith to faith. From faith to faith. As it is written, the just shall live by faith. These nations, they got to confess they sin and repent. Just because you got some because you got authority over people, don't mean that you ain't got nothing that you need to repent for. For the wrath of Allahayim is revealed from Shemayim against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of man, who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Did the Catholics hold the truth in unrighteousness, or did they hold it in righteousness? Did the Catholics, did the Mormons hold the truth in righteousness? When they came down there and destroyed that temple, and then later on, after that edict had passed, and they drawed and painted themselves over you, over the judges, saying that they was the one that was going inside of the transatlantic slave trade war. I'm going to prove it to you. I want you to look at this, where it say the Jewish expulsion of the Jews from Spain. Spain. The Spanish Inquisition. Expulsion of the Jews from Spain. You know the people that Paul was writing letters to? The people that the Apostle Paul was writing letters to from Spain? Let me show it. I'm going to prove it to you. Spain. Look at here. When therefore I have come, I have performed this, and have sealed to them this fruit, I will come by you in Spain. I will come by you in Spain. Now, in 70 AD, the temple was destroyed. So the Yahudim were already in Spain because the Apostle Paul was writing them letters. Why would he be writing the Romans letters to let them know that the Messiah that they believed in was the Messiah of the diaspora? right here of these people, the Sephardim. And look who they put as the Sephardim. But let's see why I say what I say. The expulsion of Yahweh from Spain was the expulsion of practicing, look at this, they say of practicing Jews. Now let's see what happened to these practicing Jews. Following the Al-Habri decree was an edict issued on 31st March. This is your history, Negroes. 1492. Who was being enslaved in 1492? Was it white people with white skin, or was it black people with black skin? By the joint Catholic monarchs of Spain, ordering the expulsion of practicing Jews, which means Yahweh, who was keeping the law, statute, and commandment of Yahweh. It wasn't no Judaism, because Abraham was not a Yahweh. Abraham is an Abar. He's the father of Yahweh through his son Yaquabah. But he himself is not Yahweh. His name was changed from Abram to Abraham, not to Yahweh. How can the son be greater than his father? Practicing ewes from the crowns of castles in Oregon and territories and possessions by 31st July of that year. The primary purpose was to eliminate. Now this time I'm clicking inside of the article. Check this out. The Alhambra decree, also known as the Edict of Expulsion, Spanish, look at this. And let me show you where where these people was being sent to. Decree de Lea, look at this, 1492, when they was being sent out of Spain. Where was they being sent to? Look at these people. Oh, I told you, we're going to do some history. The Catholic monarchs were Queen Elizabeth, you know, Christopher Columbus people. Look at that. Look at it. Look at the picture. Spain, or the Kingdom of Spain, is a country located in southwestern Europe with parts of its territory of the Atlantic Ocean. A part of their colony was of the Atlantic Ocean, the Ethiopian Ocean. Why do they got power over the Ethiopian Ocean? And they not no Ethiopian. And they not the people that supposed to be running the continent. The Mediterranean Sea, what is they got doing dealing with this here? In Africa, it is the largest country in Southern Europe. Who is these peoples here? Converso. What this? Look at this. Converso. Converso was a Jew who converted to Catholic beliefs in Spain and Portugal, because Spain and Portugal is the same people. They both is Rome. Portugal and Spain is Rome. Particularly, so how do the Romans become Jews now? Huh? During the people that they kept saying was Ethiopians. How is they now the Ethiopian, and the Ethiopian is no longer Ethiopian no more? It just don't matter. The 14th and 15th centuries are one of their descendants. Oh, let me show you. Let's go to the history of Florida. ¿Cómo estás, el Negro? The history of Florida can be traced to when the first Native Americans began to inhabit the peninsula as early as the 14,000 years ago. So before the Europeans came over here, it was already people over here. Let's read on. They left behind artifacts and archaeological evidence. In Florida, written history. So we see here, this is the marks and stuff that they left in Florida. Begin with the arrival of the European, who they put that, telling you who it is, translation of the Europeans, which one of the Europeans, because you are one of somebody as well, but which one is the Europeans? The Spanish. ¿Cómo estás, el negro? The Spanish explorer Johann Ponce de Leon was a Spanish explorer and conquistador known for leading the first official European expedition to Puerto Rico in 1508. When did they say slavery started? No, Mashbaka. They been shipping us over here. Expedition to Puerto Rico in 1508. So the United States been holding us, over here in oppression for 400 years. But before the United States was called the United States, they were called the United Colonies. Remember? Puerto Rico in 1508 and Florida. It was Florida in 1513. He was born in Centeves de Campos, Valladolid, Spain in 1474. Though little is known about his family. In 1513, made the first textual records. The state received its name from the conquistador. Look, the conquistadors or conquistadores were the explorer, soldier, and Spanish and Portuguese empires. Rome of 15th and 16th century. 15 and 16 centuries. 15 and 16 centuries. Rome during the age of discovery. During the age of discovery. The conquistadors. During the age of discovery, the conquistadors sailed beyond Europe to the Americas, Oceanias, Africa, Asia, colonizing. Come on, family. Rome was a colonizer who called the peninsula the Pascua Florida in recognition in the verdant landscape. And because it was the Easter season, which Spaniards called Pascua, I think, Florida, is a Spanish term that means flowery festival or feast of flowers. So who was the church? Who was Catholicizing people? Family, who was washing out Negroes' mouth with soap if they spoke their language? Who was taking people from their mama and their father? Look at this. This era was the first mainland realm of the United States to be settled by Europeans started in 1513. Since then, Florida has many waves of colonization of immigration. The French immigrated. The Spanish came over here by sitting in the high top seats. But what happened during the 16th century? As well as entry a new Native American group, migration from elsewhere in South, and free blacks and free Negroes and fugitive slaves. Wait a minute now. When was Abraham Lincoln killed? So if they say that it started in the 16th century, look at this. No, it started before the 16th century. Native American groups migrated from elsewhere in the South. And free blacks, see, it was a separation then. People knew that they was not that one and that one was not that one. And free, how you say it in Spanish, and free Negroes and free Negro people and fugitive slaves who were the same people. Remember, Moors and Moriscos and immigrating, including French and Spanish settlements. Who was the French? The Greeks. Who was the Spanish? The Romans. Who was their father? Yawan. Settlement during the 16th century. Both of their father is Yawan. They honor their father. They still know who they is. As well as the entry of new Native American groups migrating from elsewhere in the South, the free Negro people, and the fugitive slaves. The fugitive slaves. Shalom, True Self K, Free DRC, who in the 19th century became allied with the Native Americans. So I know that my grandmother was not telling me no story. My grandmama told me that they was that we was adopted by the Native Americans. That we stayed with the Native Americans. That they was fighting against the Spanish and the Portuguese. The Spanish and the white ones fighting against the French and the Spain. Look at this. Is he white? Look, the black Seminole. How black is he? Like they said the black Jews is, of Portugal and Spain. The black Semite, Semite, or Afro-Semites, Semite. Look in Georgia. What did they say? The Israelites are an ethnic group of mixed Native American and African origin. Now they say African origin, but they weren't calling us African when they in the Bible. They was calling us Ethiopians in the Bible. Now these, some mixed with the natives. Now I know that a lot of the natives don't like to mix. Associated with the Semite people in Florida, Seminites, and Oklahoma. They are mostly blood descendants of the Seminole people, free Africans, and escaped from former slave masters. So these Negroes. Now look at this. Florida was under colonial rule by Spain. The Spanish Empire, sometimes referred to as Hispanic monarchy or the Catholic monarchy. So who is these? Look at this. Was a colonial empire that existed between 1492 and 1960 76. 1976. Some people that's still alive today was alive when their colony was still in power. Florida was a part of their colony. Florida used to belong to Spain, then Britain came down there. Aha! In conjunction with the Portuguese Empire, it is ushered in the European age. It ushered in the European age. A discovery. It achieved a global scale controlling vast portions. Look at this. 19th century and briefly by Britain. So briefly by Britain. Remember when Americans was fighting that war? And they said that they was trying to get free from the Queen of Britain. So they had that civil war, compromised the dominions, colonies, and then they had the Confederacy War, which is the British Empire's symbol. The Confederates was the British Empire symbol. Why was Clay Cut changed to Haines City, Florida, where I grew up? Why was Clay Cut changed from what the conquistadors called it to being called Haines City, Florida, after a general of the Confederacy? Kingdom and predecessor states. It began with the overseas possessions like the crown jewels, the crown that the Africans was that the Igbos was asking for back, because a lot of people are saying it don't matter about who you is in Africa. But some Igbos was very adamant about who they was. Some Limba and some Yoruba were very adamant about who they was. Post-establishment by England in the late 16th and the early 17th centuries. And some Africans apologize to you. During the 18th century, look at this, neither Spain nor Britain maintained a large military or civilian population that became a territory of the United States in 1821. 2 decades later, on March 3rd, 1845, Florida was admitted to the Union as the 27th U.S. state. So Florida was once a part of Spain, Spanish, Mexico. So we were called El Negro, La Negras, El Negro, the black. So when they ask you on your application, do you have any Hispanic origin? Think about this next time. Florida is nicknamed the Sunshine State due to its warm climate and days of sunshine. Florida's sunny climate, many beaches, and growth of industries. Also, where that man that you see all the time with the webs on his back was fighting at. He was swimming in the swamps out there with the alligators that I see all the time. Have attracted northern migrants. So it attracted northern migrants within the United States, the international migrants and vacationers, people that can afford a vacation. Since Florida land boom in 1920s. Who is these people right here? Migrants. They have shorts on when it's dead of winter time. 50-foot lots here. Oh, so now colonization started to happen. But look how much it cost back then. $74. Look at this. $74. You could get this. Titanium Bros Company. Think y'all might look up the history of that. Look at this, 1920s. Was the first real estate bubble. The economic property of the 1920s, coupled with a lack of knowledge about storm frequency and the poor building. But who was down here that learned from the natives how to deal with the weather down here? Who was down here already? So who taught these people? Who built up this place, and then migrants started coming down here in the Sunshine State? Who built up Georgia and migrants started coming down there? And when you go up there, they say whites only. But when they come down here, they redlining. Building standards used by boom developers set the conditions. So the Native Americans called us black Seminoles, Semites. Ain't that something? The economy of Florida has changed over its history, starting with the natural resources exploitation in lodging, mining, fishing, and sponge diving, as well as castle ranching, farming, and citrus growing. The tourism, real estate, trade, banking, and retirement destination for rich people. Not for the poor. The slaves that was already over here. Businesses were developed as economic sectors later on, and now they want to take over Georgia. The foundation of Florida was located in the continent of Gondwana at South Pole 650 million years ago. Now they're going into all the what they call it, study. So we ain't gonna get into all that. But family, that's what I wanted to come here and finish off sharing with y'all. Let me give a proper salute to all of the family that came in. Let me do the elders first. I know you came first, Sister Naomi, but let me do elder first because elder came in. Shalom, Elder Berean, scholar. I want to first give a shalom to my wife, Valentina. I know she in the background hiding. Shalom, Sister Naomi. Shalom, Professor Lovely Lady. Aman. And shalom to Niggas Malaka Adiyah to the remnant. Blessings on you, sister. Shalom, True Self K. Free DRC. Shalom to you again, Mashpaka. And all of the family that's in the background and all the family that'll be hereafter, I want to say shalom to you. I want you to enjoy this music before I go. Yahweh willing, I'll be right back with you another time. But I want you to enjoy the music that I want to play for y'all today. And I'm finna play that song that I had wrote for the Mashpaka. Aman. I got a song for you. So hold on for me real quick, family. So now when y'all hear this song, next time y'all hear this song, let this message come back inside of your mind, all right? So let me go ahead and put this song on, family.
Nessa looking at the screen like they don't know. Now they West Africana say I Igbo. Taking 30 shekels selling out the Negro. Trying to be a superhero selling out the Negro. I'd rather be a doorkeeper than be burned with the devil low. That's stupid, I selling out your own thing. Rather be on y'all side. Y'all, how should I break these chains and give me the brand new name? Underlay, arriba, up quickly, just like speed up. We on a mission, man, we gotta go through. Babylon to Babylon, we gotta stop that through. I don't wanna be a hero of the word, only gotta be a doer. Seeking for my armor, mama, wisdom. And it won't be long. You gon' look for me down here, I'll be gone. Soon one morning, and it won't be long. You gon' look for me down here, I'll be gone. Ran out my nigga brother, we done fell down. Through the Moors at the gate, and she black to the ground, singing Kumbaya. Yahabashai say the firstborn of the father who he raised from the grave by nature of a strange language in the fierce. Look it up, fulfill prophecy is written in the book. You best get your mind right and look at the sign and put a fast at your fair born, she out your mind. Oh my brother, keep it brother, preacher of a pole, cause there's a war on these souls, cities get low. Shake the roster, I can let the family know. I gotta draw 9 man, so we gotta go. Gotta bear fruit for the gift of the jubilee. Don't bear fruit, then you won't get nothing. And don't you give away your birthright for a pot of beans or some yellow rice. But yeah, you heard right.
All right, family. Shalom to you all. I forgot to drop the link, so I dropped it for you. So if you want to come up, you had the opportunity. And let me read what y'all say before I go. Be determined to have a lovely day and a very peaceful evening, everyone. Amen, amen. And I just want to say prayers lifted for all of the family that's out and about, going about their day, doing what they got to do to survive while we over here. Thank you, Sister Naomi. I work very hard on my music and been thinking about, kind of switching up my flow again. I'm finna switch it up. I've been hearing some different tunes in my head, like with my vocals, and it's going to be a whole lot different. So I got some new things, ideas I'm thinking about. I was listening to one of our Spanish brothers the other day, and he gave me some good advice, and I'm going to take his advice because I don't copy off no rap sheet or nothing. I actually write down my songs out of my heart, So I just want to say shalom to the family, and I want y'all all to keep your eyes lifted up to the hills from where your help come from. Your help coming from Yahweh. Amen. He is the source of our strength. In him we live and move and have our being. I want to say to the family, shalom.